sold on that
actually,
review.
yeah, I'm actually looking forward to checking that out. Again, we get that a lot when it's, oh, a new movie's coming out. It's going to be the biggest movie of the year. It's going to be this big surprise. Maybe, I don't know, man. The crowd reaction, people look like they were shitting themselves. So who knows? Maybe it will be.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Horror Guys. Alan, John, if you don't know by now, welcome to the show. You must be new.
Yes.
Random horror, weekly horror, I don't know what you want to call it, just horror tidbits.
Yeah.
It's what we do here, so.
Dude, I honestly enjoy the random horror, weekly horror, whatever you want to call it.
I do too. They're not our most popular videos, but.
No, but I'll tell you what, like, in the time span that it takes us to do a show sometimes, like, I find a lot of shit. So it's kind of cool to see what's coming out and what's news is coming out on the stuff that is coming out.
And the cool thing is it's like, from a personal standpoint, it's giving me more to look forward to because I am more aware of the things that are coming out. Whereas before, I'm going to kill this light behind me. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Atmosphere. I just lost my earbud.
Sorry about that. I just was getting some weird lighting thing. I didn't know if that light was making it worse or better. Anyway, but like, it's like I'm getting news from doing the show, and it's cool. So lots of good stuff. By the way, you might hear the horror dog in the background. She's I don't know what she's doing. Anyway,
that's all right. I came up here without mine, and she was scratching at the door, so I had to let her in. So. How that works.
Yeah, usually.
All right, well, let's start off with the fact that we're getting a another film from the found footage series VHS called VHS 99. And this one follows last year's VHS 94, which I actually just watched. It was okay. Decent segments, some not so much, but you know, they keep making these and they're not bad.
Right.
It releases the Shudder on October 20th. And with that came a poster, which I'll pop up here so everybody can see it. But, I don't know. I think I told you this. I started my annual horror watches on September 1st.
Yeah.
So I've been going through and pulling a different movie every day. And like I said, VHS 94 was the other day's movie, and it was all right. It was okay. Yeah. But it's not going to Screenbox. I can actually watch it on Shudder, so it's cool.
Well, we're all going to have Screenbox here soon.
I'm telling you, man. And if this damn earbud does not stay in my ear, dude.
A lot of technical difficulties.
I'm falling. No, it's me. I'm falling apart.
As long as you don't start falling apart. Like actually falling apart.
So remember when we talked about how it was weird that Rob Zombie's Monsters was getting a DVD and Blu-ray release before the Netflix date?
Yes.
Well, they decided to change that, and it now hits Netflix the same day on September 27th as it does DVD and Blu-ray. So I guess that makes a little more sense now.
They probably saw our show and we're like, man, these guys made a good point.
I would think that Wednesday would be sure to follow because it's supposed to be like not like a war of monsters versus Addams Family, but they were talking about how it's cool that that'll be on like the fall list for Netflix.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of shit dropping at once, man. I mean, you got Cobra Kai coming out in just a couple days. You got the Monsters coming out, and then you got Wednesday. That's a lot of stuff coming out at one time.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever.
Couple months.
Yeah, dude. Really, like when I made my list for like horror stuff to watch this year, because I go from September 1st to November 1st, and that's 62 movies. But the way I do it is I do double features, I do triple features. So you're looking at like 80 some movies.
Yeah.
That doesn't even count the new shit that's coming out in between those months.
Right.
So I got a lot of watching to do, which you know how it is. You start off really strong, and then like you have a show or something, you get behind a movie, then you get behind a couple movies, and you're down like a week's worth of movies. You're like, shit.
Well, and that's the thing. Like you have all the stuff you want to watch, and you want to watch it around the time, but then you also have, shows like you said. And some things outside of it, because we do watch things that are not horror as well sometimes.
Right, absolutely.
So, I mean, that stuff you want to keep up on. And it is a lot. Like, and that's why I think when I look back and I see movies where I'm like, God, I can't believe I haven't seen that yet. It makes sense. Like there's so many things from even a couple years back that I still haven't seen.
I know, same here.
You know,
I for me it's funny because like I'll put that list together and then I'll put everything in my little pumpkin and shake it up every day and pick one, and it's like,
oh, you do it randomly.
Oh yeah, I have my ones that I'm super cool with watching in September, but I have my ones that I have to watch in October because there's just certain movies you have to watch in October. They can't be watched in September. And I think we're gonna do a show about that here soon. Our top movies to watch in October. So I mean that's coming. Just saying.
And to piggyback off that real quick, that we do our 3-day movie marathon type deal too. So that's like 10 to 12 movies that we watch in a span of 3 days.
Right. You guys do that usually over a weekend, right?
We do it over the weekend. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have like the first day where the kids will sit and watch, and maybe I could put up a video when we do it, just to show everybody how we like totally transform our basement into like this horror themed movie theater type thing. It's fun for the kids.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we decorate. We have so many, we change the light bulbs and everything. And so it's like black light and red lights everywhere. And it's pretty cool. Nice. And then, yeah, like the first night's usually for the kids.
Right.
And then we actually get a night, my in-laws take the kids, and then we're able to watch like some of the real, the stuff you wouldn't have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old watching. And we watch a lot of that stuff. So it's something we look forward to every week, every Halloween.
Dude, I've been doing this for years and I love doing it, man. Like I look forward to it. I start my list literally like early, like shit. Last year I started it as I was doing the current list. I was starting next year's list already for this year. It was like, man, I already knew it, But here's something that you may not know. Another R.L. Stine book is getting a film adaptation. Sorry, I can't fucking talk either. Zombie Town is expected to hit theaters and Hulu next year. But the most interesting part of this whole news is the cast so far. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase are set to star in the movie.
No kidding.
Yeah. So check this out. Obviously, in Stine's book, A Quiet Town is upended when 12-year-old Mike and his friends, and his friend Karen watch a horror movie called Zombie Town, and unexpectedly see the title characters leap off the screen and chase them through the theater. So, I mean, it's more of a kid's horror film, R.L. Stine, obviously, but it sounds like it's going to be fun as hell, and it's kind of cool if we're getting Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase.
You never know. The way they redid Fear Street.
Right. I don't think those two have worked together that I know of since Nothing But Trouble. So,
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Chevy Chase in anything in a long time. He did that quick cameo in the Vacation movie.
Right. Yeah, he's been doing conventions. He's actually coming to Pittsburgh again in December.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it, but that photo op is hefty, let me tell you.
Really? I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Now this news will make you happy. Terrifier 2 got some positive reactions from its premiere at Fright Fest.
Nice.
So check out what some of this stuff was said about it. Utterly insane and bloody terrific sequel. Terrifier 2 promised a lot for fans, but somehow it actually delivered more. Ultra gory, stupendously violent, and utterly insane on every level. So it's sounding pretty messed up here so far.
When are we getting that again? That's coming soon, right?
October 6th on Screenbox, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, hopefully they do an actual VOD too, because the Screenbox thing ain't gonna cut it, man. Sorry, but I'm not ordering that shit. Let's see. All your Halloweens have come at once. Damien Leone's 140-minute Art the Clown epic is a slasher full of absolutely insane levels of butchery with incredible practical effects, over the top, out of control, and off the rails.
I'm so excited for that. I can't help it.
I got one more, as violent and mean-spirited as the first, with superb effects. And with that news comes a new pretty sweet-looking poster that I'll pop up for everybody to see. And also a runtime of 2 hours and 20 minutes. That surprised me.
Yeah.
That really surprised me. Maybe Halloween can take heed of that, and maybe we can get a 2-hour fucking Halloween movie, because
that'd be nice.
I think they said the runtime for the new one was like 154 or something. Somebody said,
Just approaching, and you figure
yeah,
that's also credits as well.
right, exactly.
So you're looking at,
I mean, I guess
you know,
we're gonna get the 2 hour mark, maybe. I guess, dude, all of those reviews and stuff make me even more excited to see Terrifier 2.
yeah.
And as you said in our last video, it's not for everybody. These types of movies are not for everybody.
No, it's very gory, bordering on the cheesy.
Right.
But it's also
a cool ass character.
He's a cool character, and the way they set these movies, like, I mean, even going back to all of his other stuff, the All Hallows Eve stuff and everything, like, it's really cool. We talk a lot about the Halloween, like environment, kind of atmosphere feeling of these movies. This is a movie that does it really interesting and kind of nails it in a different way. And I don't know. I love the. I've been excited for this since I saw the first one, knowing that they were planning a sequel. And I really hope that they do many more because they're a lot of fun. Probably,
what's funny?
Underrated.
Have you ever noticed? Oh, absolutely. But have you ever noticed? We talked about that too, like the atmosphere, the Halloween atmosphere of movies and stuff. But have you ever noticed it's really the indie and B movies that do the atmosphere better than most of the big movies?
Yeah, it's true. It's rare that you find. Or more of the unknowns. You look at movies like obviously, the Terrifier movies. We talked about Satan's Little Helper did a good job with that.
Yeah.
Trick or Treat was a lesser known movie that hit that really well.
Which funny story about that. Did you hear it's actually getting a theater release after 15 years?
I did see that. Yeah,
they're bringing it back out this year, so that's kind of cool.
That's another one where we were supposed to get a sequel and it keeps getting stalled, and now it's kind of looking like we probably won't see it, at least not anytime soon.
They're definitely going to have to get a new Sam because the kid that played him is like 8 foot tall now. So and he's like 30, and he's like 30 years old. So that's not going to happen. Unless Sam grew up, I don't know, but right.
Well, you can find another kid to do it.
Why did I just picture John Gonzalez walking down the street with his big fursuit? Okay, I'm done.
With a pumpkin mask and carrying.
Right. You have to be an old school wrestling fan to remember that gimmick.
That back in the day, whenever they would find the weirdest, like it seemed like they would find these guys that were Vince McMahon would go out and just find the biggest guy. It didn't matter if he could work or not.
Right.
And he'd put him up against the Undertaker, and it was like this sideshow attraction.
Yeah.
And Giant Gonzalez was one of them, and it's
that he
classic.
Was. So we got a new poster for Hocus Pocus 2 and a new image of Billy Butcherson. And the actor that plays him, Doug Jones, says the sequel will explore more of Billy's own backstory and his hatred for the witches that put him on the teens' side. So I kind of like that we're going to get a little bit of backstory on Billy. We didn't get much in the original, so kind of cool to hear that we're going to get somewhat of, I don't know, maybe even a little flashback or something. Who knows? We'll get something on him, which is kind of cool. That's always a plus, when you can establish your characters a little more and let people know what the hell's going on, So how sci-fi is notorious for their horror this time of year, they brought us a Leprechaun reboot a few years ago, which actually wasn't bad. They brought us last year was a remake of Slumber Party Massacre, which again really wasn't that
bad. No, we watched it.
It wasn't bad at all. And now this year we're getting a new entry in the Bring It On, the cheerleader movies.
Yeah.
But with a horror twist, because this year we're getting Bring It On, Cheer or Die.
Is it legitimately so? Wait, is it in relation to the other two? Is it an actual sequel?
I believe so. It's just going horror with it.
It's in continuity with the other two.
I believe so. It's a slasher, obviously. No release date yet, but it's set to premiere sometime in October, obviously on Sci-Fi.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm here for it.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Dude, I was happy with the Leprechaun. I guess you really could call it a sequel because technically it kind of picked up years later after the first one.
Right.
And it actually wasn't bad at all. Obviously I was a little hesitant because it wasn't Warwick Davis, but the guy that did play him actually did a good job.
God, I'm sitting there trying to figure out if I watched it.
Oh, Leprechaun Returns, I believe was the name of it. I actually,
feel like I watched it.
If you haven't, check it out because
I might check it out just in case. I remember it coming out. It seems like something I would have gone out of my way to watch.
Yeah, that was one of theirs. And then, like I said, last year's Slumber Party Massacre. So they're carrying on the tradition, of course. And don't forget, Tubi's bringing us Terror Train this year too. So I'm looking forward to
I did forget about that. Yeah. And Tubi is free, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Unlike Screambox.
Yeah.
Which is not
so it's funny that you mentioned the name Scream because in the next part of news, Scream 6 has wrapped. Talk about a quick
turnaround. That was very quick. Yeah.
And Ghostface says he'll be calling on March 31st, 2023.
But we know who he won't be calling.
Well, I can guess the name Sydney possibly.
Yeah, he will not be calling Sydney.
Dude, I still feel like she's in there in some way, shape, or form.
Nothing would surprise me. I mean, the stuff that I read since that rumor kind of hit made me less and less optimistic about that.
Yeah,
but it's still. I mean, it's going to be in the back of my mind when I'm watching the movie. Like,
right, she may pop up somewhere.
That would be the twist of a lifetime.
It really would, and if they pull it off and keep it quiet the whole time, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Sorry about these damn earbuds are driving me nuts today. So we here's something that comes up interesting once again. We're getting more teasing news on a possible Friday the 13th sequel. This time, Sean Cunningham mentioned in a cameo a new Friday the 13th is in the works. Maybe he knows something we don't know, obviously.
Well, where there's smoke, there's fire. You keep getting, and then a lot of those lawsuits are getting settled, and they're figuring things out. Listen, it's only a matter of time before it comes together because it's one of those things where it's such a. The thing is you have people fighting over who's going to get to do it. That's what it's all about because everybody wants a piece of the pie, and so therefore it's going to happen eventually.
And it gets worse, like you said before. Look at the success of Halloween. They want that
right.
too. You know? They want that too.
And I'll say the same thing. You saw it with Scream. They pushed another one of those out, and you're going to see it with Nightmare on Elm Street. We keep getting people talking about another Nightmare on Elm Street eventually. Now I saw a thing. I don't know how old this was, but Robert Englund suggesting that Kevin Bacon play Freddy Krueger.
I just saw that pop up too, and I guess Kevin Bacon responded to that. I don't know how he responded. I didn't read it, but yeah. So hey, it's quite possible that I mean, I did see that pop up. While you do that, let me read this part for you. So in addition to what Sean Cunningham said, New Line Cinema dropped a cryptic message saying Jason Voorhees wants to send you a message. And it was captioned with, "Uh-oh, what do you think Jason Voorhees wants?" So now even New Line's jumping in on this shit too. So they know something.
Yeah.
They know something, dude. Something's coming. I don't know what, when, or how, but something's coming.
All right. It looks like Kevin Bacon said, never say never. I mean, I say never say never, but I really do follow that. There's very few things that I go, nah, you just never know. So Kevin Bacon didn't come out and say, I won't do it. He said, I'd consider it.
What he should have really said was never say Tremor because he's not coming back to that franchise ever. So
talk about a movie that they made so many sequels to.
Oh yeah, and then here's the thing, dude. And what the hell? It's been long enough. And if you have you seen the very last one? Like
I don't know. I think I've seen like 32 different Tremors movies.
Oh well, then you've probably seen them all.
I don't know if I've seen the very last one. But...
Well, I don't want to spoil it. I guess. Screw it. It's been too long. They killed off Burt Gummer, which was your only.
I didn't see that
character. Well, we think they did.
Yeah.
And then you figured, he's gonna come back or whatever. And it's been years. I haven't done another movie. And it's like, did they actually end the Tremor series? Like, is it done now?
Wow.
It's kind of hard to believe because that's been around for about 75 years now.
There are so many of those movies.
Yeah, I want to say there's 7, maybe 8 of them now. I think. Something like that. And
Sounds right. Yeah.
Old Bert came back for every one of them, which made the movies, let's be honest.
If they try to make another one without him, I probably would be not that interested.
They tried a series.
I do remember the series.
About 5 years ago, and Kevin Bacon was a part of that with oh man, I can't think of his name. He just passed away a few years ago. One of the other main actors. The older guy with like the mullet type hair. His
I
character.
know he just
He
recently.
actually,
There was a guy that recently passed
yeah,
away. I forget his name.
and nobody picked the series up. There was even a like a pilot episode too, and nobody picked it up.
Oh.
Which I'm shocked because that seemed like that movie. Well, hell, if they were still making them, they're obviously still have fans out there, you know.
Well, what do you guys think? Kevin Bacon is Freddy Krueger.
It would be interesting to see. It's tough. What makes it hard for me is seeing Jackie Earl Haley play it. And nothing against the guy as an actor himself, but he just wasn't Freddy Krueger for me, you know? So then my question is, will Kevin Bacon be Freddy Krueger for me?
Well, there are a lot of people out there that are saying, I don't want to see another Freddy Krueger movie if Robert Englund's not playing the part. And I get that because of what you just said, and I agree. It's tough. And I don't know. I mean, I like Kevin Bacon well enough. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it or not. Robert Englund brought a certain flair to that. That being said, I don't know if I'm ready to sit here and say I don't want to see another Freddy Krueger movie because, again, I mean, I would like to see them attempt it. And if it works, it works. But the other question is, I mean, Kevin Bacon might come and play Freddy Krueger, but how many movies is he going to be wanting to make?
That's true.
Can you get him to do? I don't. Can you get him to sign on for 3 and do a quick trilogy like they did with Halloween?
I think that'd be a tough call, honestly.
And then, so I don't know. Maybe you find a young actor, kind of like what they did with the It series, and bring a guy in who's willing to do it, because now you got him signed on for a TV series now, and obviously somebody who's willing to commit more time to the role. I just don't know that Kevin Bacon is going to want to spend that much time playing Freddy Krueger. I don't know. Maybe he would. I can't speak for him.
And let's be honest, I don't think we're going to get Robert back in the makeup per se, but I think that they would be smart enough, whoever makes it would be smart enough to at least get Robert Englund in the film in some way.
Yeah, kind of like an extra or a cameo or something, or even as a character.
I think they would somehow find a way to get him in there because that would be smart.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this one. Have you seen Tusk? Kevin Smith's kind of.
I have not. I've always been kind of. I saw that he's wanting to do something else with that.
Right. So this is all right. So here it is. So he's now talking about a possible sequel, and the first one saw Justin Long being turned into a walrus by way of insane body horror. Yeah, dude, it's a strange ass
weird
movie.
Man. Have you ever seen American Mary? I'm sorry, I don't mean to go off on a tangent.
Yes.
I just immediately that's a weird fucking movie like that too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I liked it though.
I agree.
Anyway,
I did too. So apparently in this one, Justin Long would be returning and they would be taking him out of the zoo enclosure that he ended up in and being taken out of this walrus skin at an attempt at rehabilitation, which wouldn't go so well with him only ever really seeing himself as this walrus per se. He now becomes the crazy guy who tries to turn people into something else. And Kevin Smith finishes with saying, half human, half whatever. Last time it was a walrus. This time, you'll see. So I'm listen, Tusk got a lot of hate. And it was one of those movies where you watched it and you either liked it or you hated it. But for me, it was something about it that it was kind of original, where you don't see stuff like that all the time. You could almost relate it back to, in a way, Freaks from like 1932. Those were real people though. But so there was this guy that wanted to make his own version of what he wanted to. So you can relate him back to that era kind of. And he found this poor bastard per a ad that Justin Long answered in the movie. And then all of a sudden, boom. Next thing you know, you're becoming a fucking walrus, and it's like, oh, well, this is fucking weird. But weird. It was fun though. It was you expect Kevin Smith, you think Jay and Silent Bob. You don't think, oh look, we're about to turn this dude into a fucking walrus.
That being said, Kevin Smith loves to branch out into different things.
He did one called Yoga Hosers. It wasn't great, let me tell you. It wasn't great.
Yoga Hosers,
but it was fun. I mean, if you're a fan of Kevin Smith, you either love it or you hate his movies.
Yeah.
I enjoy his stuff, so that's just me though,
Right.
And he taught us a very valuable lesson. You never go ass to mouth. I'm just saying. If we didn't watch, if we didn't watch Clerks 2, you'd never know that. So there you go.
Yeah. Some people ignore that rule, but
They do, but he taught us that. And damn it, if you're not paying attention, you'd never know that.
that's true.
You sent me you sent me a trailer for this one, and I really haven't seen much about it. I did see a couple TV spots.
I already don't even remember what I sent you.
Barbarian, that new movie that's coming out. It's got Alexander Skarsgård in it.
Yes, yeah.
So it got some positive reviews, saying it's a violent, ruthless crowd pleaser, and makes for one of the year's biggest surprises. Now we get that a lot when it comes to new movies coming out, so it's give or take. It's actually set to hit theaters tomorrow, depending on when our video comes out. You'll know that. But yeah,
I'm sold on that review.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to checking that out. Again, we get that a lot when it's a new movie's coming out. It's going to be the biggest movie of the year. It's going to be this big surprise. Maybe, I don't know, man. The crowd reactions, people look like they were shitting themselves. So who knows? Maybe it will be decent.
It's funny. I send you so many things that
we do this back and forth. Yeah,
that's why crazy. I'm like, oh wait, what I send you? I mean, so it's between the two of us.
Yeah. Oh, got it. Constantly back and forth. And the last bit of news I have for Weekly Horror News is we got some new images coming from the new Hellraiser coming to Hulu.
Yeah.
And what's really sad, dude, is honestly, more people are complaining about Jamie Clayton.
I don't get it.
Well, because she's transgender, and they don't like that. And they don't like the fact that she's playing the role of Pinhead, which is really sad because we both agreed on it. And I'm going to pop these pictures up as we're talking so you guys can see them. But we talked about this and said that she actually looks decent.
Yeah.
Like it's a cool looking
cool as hell
version of Pinhead or Hell Priest or whatever they're going to call her. And so there's this one. And I'm gonna throw this picture up also.
Why does it matter if the actress is?
Because
why does it matter if she's transgender?
Because that is sadly what today's society has turned into. They're just so pissed that a female will identify as a male, and a male will identify as a female, and they can't get over it because it's not what they're used to.
But that doesn't mean the movie's gonna. I mean, yeah, and I get it. I get that I get that people are like that. I think it's, I don't want to get into the details. I just don't think, I think that people shouldn't worry about it. Like,
no, just watch the fucking movie, dude.
Like,
if you don't like it, that's fine, but don't go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to fucking hate this because a transgender woman is playing Pinhead.
That doesn't make sense. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's illogical.
Who cares? Right. Yeah. Who cares?
I mean,
just watch it.
There are so many musicians out there, for instance, or actors and actresses that, like, from what I've heard, are just terrible people. Like, I've heard that Tom Cruise is a total jackass. I've heard this. I was
reading some stuff about a lot of those people. Yeah.
And I've heard this from multiple sources. I've talked to people who've met him who would confirm that. But I still like his movies, and I still, I still like Mission Impossible and all that, and so like there are a lot of like people in Hollywood or in the music industry, wrestlers, we're wrestling fans, people that I've worked with, that I disagree with on a lot of stuff.
Same here,
and it doesn't stop me. So I just don't understand. I don't get it. But whatever. I digress. I just don't understand shitting on a movie before it even comes out.
Yep. Based on a character in the movie is something that you don't agree with. That doesn't make the movie bad, though.
Right, and the character probably has nothing to do with that.
No, and the best part that a lot of people aren't really realizing here is, I guess in the novel, Pinhead was described as a female, I believe, or as a transgender type character. They really didn't have a specific gender role for Pinhead himself. I think that's how it goes.
I just don't think I don't think Pinhead's gender generally matters.
No, it doesn't. I mean, there was female Cenobites, there were male Cenobites.
Right.
It doesn't look either way. You open that box, they're coming to fuck you up.
It doesn't matter. The key.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't open the fucking box.
Right, exactly. But I gotta tell you about this one, and I gotta put the picture up too, because there's an image from a new Cenobite, and I don't even know how to explain what the hell it looks like. It almost looks like there's a front, like a face and a body to it, but there's no behind. So like there's a face, but there's no head behind it, and there's a chest, but there's no like anything else behind it. It's the creepiest looking fucking thing I've ever seen, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that character comes into play, because in the picture, which, like I said, I'll pop it up here, but in the picture, it's creepy as shit looking. So visually, it looks like it might be a fun horror movie. I listen, man. I'm gonna go into it with an open mind,
Hey, you got
and hopefully I like it, because I like the first three Hellraisers. I can't say I like them all after that, but I do like the first three, and I'm hoping that this one is semi decent. Because it's been a long time.
Look at some of these photos.
Dude, that one, I'm telling you, I don't know how to really. It almost looks like Leatherface went to it and tore it in half, but just kept like pieces of like certain skin and like built this person. I was like, what in the fuck is that? And I want to see how it comes into play. I always like the Butterball character from the original Hellraiser.
Yeah, and
I always liked him and Chatterbox. Those were like my two favorites.
It's cool that they're doing something different. It's cool that we're gonna see something. I'm looking at some of these. I mean, some of these photos look pretty cool.
That's the beauty of Hellraiser, though.
Yeah.
Look how fucked up of a movie it really is, and how weird and crazy you can go with it. That's the thing, man. I mean, that's just it. Shit, Clive Barker's probably loving every bit of this shit.
I'm sure he's loving.
Like, fuck yeah.
I'm sure he's loving the checks. As you know, like John Carpenter said, the funny thing happens every time they make a new Halloween movie. I get a check in the mail.
Yeah, and that he does. Well, that's all I got for weekly horror news, man.
All right, guys. I'm saving your comments for our Halloween video we got coming up.
All right,
because they're all related to Halloween. Surprise, surprise.
That works. Wait, so that means I'm up again, right? I got to do my thing, right? The spill.
It's you, man. We're skipping right over and going straight to maybe the most important part of the show.
That's right. So we want you to jump on YouTube, give us a like, give us a follow, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, because I did forget that last time. And most importantly, jump on Reddit with us, man, and continue this conversation. Yes. We do have some new followers, and we've had some interaction on some of the stuff, so it's cool, man.
It's starting to take off a little bit. It's building. Yeah. It's like a snowball. It starts, and eventually it's going to be the biggest thing on Reddit. I can see it. I
hope so. So jump on Reddit and come talk to us, and let's continue the horror discussion after the shows.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later.
Later.
Fans, check out and follow the Horror Guys. You can find them on Facebook, facebook.com/The Horror Guys. On Twitter, Horror Guys 21, that's HORRORGUYS 21. On YouTube, The Horror Guys. And also on Spotify, search for The Horror Guys.
Beetlejuice.